Hi, we're live now. I'm just sitting here doing some work, and I got a call. I'm just sitting here, and I got a call from John Savage, who had a look at Dean Allen's video post on inclusive learning for the IT strategy, and he had an idea. So I found this really inspiring. That conversation that we had with someone else has inspired someone else to have an idea about stuff. So, John, what was your idea for the inclusive learning there?
Um, it was a piece of software or an app that I found for Android called JabTalk, and it works on an Android tablet. It would work on a mobile as well, and it sort of duplicates or does a lot of the things that more expensive hardware does. The more expensive hardware, so you're thinking about in the region of about £5,000 quite often, maybe more. Things like called Go Talk, and it's sort of like a grid system with categories where you would press a button and it will say a word that's been assigned to that button.
And this was just on Android platform for a few £100 at most, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, the actual software or the app is free, which is always a bonus. And the hardware, an Android device now with cameras, a tablet, you can pick up for probably around £100. What I was, as we briefly discussed before, Martin, was that we probably need to. I'll be looking for something more, what I would call it, I don't know if it's the right word, ruggedized, a
Yeah.
more rugged version. So something that's got some sort of rubberized sleeve and sort of protective screen, etc. So that it would stand up to the rigors of
Everyday use.
classroom life, if you like. And obviously sometimes these things can get knocked off of tables, etc. So yes, or thrown. So be looking for something sort of quite substantial,
What type of learner, what disability, if this is the right word, was this to assist with?
Well, I have some learners who find it difficult to vocalise, and I see this as a means of enabling them to sort of to communicate without just doing sort of a yes or no choice all the time. To actually sort of open up some more choices. So it's hard to sort of describe without showing
Sure.
without showing it exactly.
Yeah.
But the device would, with the app, you can create sort of personalised. What would you call it? You can set up the device for a personal use for an individual, and you can set it up. I can only really give you an example. It's probably the easiest thing. Using the camera in your tablet and using the software. If the student came into a new classroom, they would come in with their device, with their tablet, and if you introduced, you say you came into the classroom, Martin, we could introduce Martin, and we would take a picture of you. We would assign you under a category, which maybe you've already set up with college, with a nice picture of college. I could take a picture of you with the tablet, or the student could if they had that ability. Then you would type in your name, and then you would appear under, I was going to say a mugshot, that's the wrong word, but sort of a gallery of a gallery of pictures of maybe all the people that the student comes across at college. So they could select college. If you say, well, what do you want to tell me? They could sort of say college. Who do you want to speak to? And they could select your picture or my picture or someone else's. So what I liked about it is it's just very quick and easy to set up, and it's just so flexible that if you go to the canteen, you can sort of take a picture of foods. You can say I would like, and then maybe go and take pictures of all the different foods, and then the student can make a selection and press a button, and then it will just speak the word that you've assigned. And also you could assign someone's voice as well. So I could introducing yourself, so you could actually record your voice or have a standard sort of voice you would probably hear on something like this sort of device that Stephen Hawking uses. Not that I know exactly what it is, but So you can have that sort of more computer voice type thing, or you can have my voice or your voice or anyone
That's
else.
brilliant. What I like about this is it's personal, it's customizable, and it's what we call socially contemporary technology. Instead of some, often clunky, specialized, expensive piece of equipment, you're using what everybody else around them's got, so they don't necessarily feel strange or
I hadn't thought of that, but yes, it makes it a little bit more so not socially acceptable, but yes, it enables something to blend in more.
blended, a different. You could say that's a kind of different a riff on blended learning, can't you? Blending in with the real world. That's given me an idea, John. But yeah, comfortable. It's more comfortable for them than pulling out some strange piece of technology. Other people have got tablet, and that's great. All right, thanks, John. That's wonderful.
One more thing I forgot to mention. Like say, there are YouTube videos, so you could check it. I can't remember if you did a search for Jab Talk, you would find some on their website. Let's say it's a free software. It could be loaded on, so people could actually, if you have those, anyone watching this, if we have an audience at all, could find the software themselves and find the app and download it themselves to an Android device. And also one other feature of it is if you don't actually take a picture of the objects, or you can actually do a link, you can actually search, you can assign an image from the internet. So you have a choice, either an internet picture, which you can just go and do a search for. So say, for example, you wanted to have, what did you watch on TV last night? You could then do, when you're setting up the button, you could do a link to EastEnders, for example, a picture of characters from EastEnders from the internet, and put it straight onto the device. So it's all very nice and quick and easy to use, and also in the classroom when, despite all the planning you might do, there's always seems to be something that comes up that you haven't included. And what's great about this is, again, in the past you might have had to supply word lists that you're going to use in the classroom. And whilst you can still do that, you can add things on an ad hoc basis. So I think it's a great feature.
One of the other things that just popped into my mind as well was I've been reading a lot about how communications is changing, how young people's use of text in particular is forcing a more concentrated pictographic form of communication. What you were saying there is, instead of I don't know what effect, but instead of communicating with words, you can communicate with pictures, more complex pictures. You were saying there, what did you watch last night? You take a screenshot. I was watching the 100, for example. Take an image from the internet of the 100, and then flash that back to them.
The thing is, you still need to type in, but then it's type in the word for the search, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's still once you've done that, then it's there. It's part of their vocabulary that they're building up on this device. And the only drawback I can see with it potentially is, and maybe other people will come back with some more once they've had a look at it, but that it appears that you can only tailor it to one for one individual on one device.
That's kind of the norm. I mean, this is the consequence of personalization, and all this technology is far more personable. But there's the advantage and the disadvantage. We may find ways around it, but what we'd issue it to a student and they customize and personalize it, it has a greater impact. So.
And they could, you see, the thing is that a student could use that whilst their time at college, have it assigned to them, and then it could be recycled, as it were, when they leave, move on, or whatever. So I think it's still sort of something which we could investigate and use. Like I say, I really recommend watching the video posted on their website of the developer's young son using it to sort of say what he wants for his lunch. And it's quite inspiring, really. So.
Yeah, you said he had autism. Was it autism?
No, their son has Down syndrome.
Oh, Down syndrome, that's
but
right.
I can see that would be useful maybe with someone who, like I say, people who have difficulty just in general difficulty vocalizing, whether someone might be a selective mute, for example, as well, or maybe a student with autism, and I'm sure there's lots of other things that I haven't thought of, but there may be things within the scope of where I work. So that's what I'm thinking more that way. What would be interesting, Martin, see if anyone comes back with another use or another angle. So
we're seeing. I'll follow this up when we get the devices. I'll follow it up. I'll come across, take some photos, not necessarily of the students, but we'll follow up with the story, see how we got on. Thank you very much, John.
You're welcome. Well, thanks very much.